As bow hunters, we always have to have a trick up our sleeve. But as you know, it usually takes more than one trick.
I can hear the mountains calling, I can feel the cool breeze blowing, I can see the leaves are...
So here I am, down here in Arizona, a week before season, doing some scouting for a very, very special hunt. A mentoring hunt. Taking people out for their first time, trying to share what little knowledge we have with them and give them some tricks to put up their sleeve. We're going to attempt to show you some of those. Hopefully find some animals and let them apply some of these tricks in the field. So wish us luck. Here we go. Any of you that joined us before know we like to share our experiences out here in the field. Sometimes it's just to encourage you about different things you could do, different things you could try. Sometimes it's just going along with us because you enjoy the outdoors like we do. Well, this time we've got a very special hunt we want to showcase to you, and that is a mentoring hunt. One of the first accounts that I can think of that has to do with mentoring was these 12 people that were mentored by one man so that they could take up, after he was gone, what he'd been doing. So they learned from him. The mentoring lessons came from none other than Jesus when he mentored the 12 disciples. Well, that's a lot better application than what we've got here. We're just mentoring in the field about the hunting techniques that we know, so that other people can take that up after we're gone. Hopefully you'll also have a quest to be a spiritual mentor or to be mentored by someone in the love of Jesus Christ. We're going to be going after a species that we would recommend for anybody just starting bow hunting.
I got a riddle for you. What woofs like a St. Bernard, smells like a skunk, shakes like a dog, got a soft nose like a pig?
Well, if you haven't guessed by now, it's javelina we're after. This venture is a little different than most that we usually take you on. We're in the southern part of Arizona. Come down here for a little scouting, see if we can find some javelina. Now, like I was saying, the winds have been absolutely nuts. 16 miles an hour. That's the low side. Been more like 20 all night and 20 all day this morning. I've got a little spot right here. I don't know why, but it seems to be out of most of the wind. Probably only 2 or 3 miles an hour right here. So yesterday I was down lower trying to stay out of the wind. Didn't work. Today I backed up the hill about a mile, and I got over here where there's a pocket, and I was hoping, the wind's been coming from southeast, so what I was hoping to do was get up here and get along a canyon that was protected from this wind, and hopefully find a little more game. And then right in there is the saddle. And right there is the thickest trees. And this is the north side. So you've got more cover. And watch two does. And they went right down here. Right down here. And they got in the very thickest part right there. And then I saw a little spike buck, and a little bit later behind him came out a little forked horn with eye guards, probably about that wide, and little eye guards about like that. So anyway, things are looking up here. This also happens to be the leeward side. You can see how little wind we're getting. And it's about 20 miles an hour on the other side, on the south side. Got a huge flat down here. Lots of prickly pear in it. Javelina's favorite food. Prickly pear have long been known to be a favorite food of javelina. This is a growth that's older, therefore tougher to chew on. We've found many times they'll seek out these younger plants for more tender diets. Well, I'm tucked back underneath this oak tree, just looking at this country out here. Right now I've got pretty open face. Right straight out here, there's quite a bit of cactus on this hill. So I'm just looking for javelina right now. The upper portions is where the cow's deer are generally at. Without hunting Coues deer, it may be difficult to imagine the kind of terrain they exist in. Live in some of the harshest places that you can imagine. Just above here, I ran into some Mearns quail. That can only mean one thing. Water isn't far off. We all know water is essential. Find it in the desert, that's paramount.
I mixed my 20 with my 30, and on the second time, I didn't know if it was 20 yards or if it was 30 yards.
What a difference a day makes. Today it's all sunny, pretty warm. Yesterday was a different story. 15-mile-an-hour wind, maybe more. Snow all day. But we got into 5 different sounders of javelina. Right down in here, in that saddle, or just this side of it. And got down there with Kai and got in on some javelina. He got a shot, and we're still out here hunting today, so that tells you that story. Seeing some goose deer every day we've been out. Some close, alert, trying to figure out what we were, even approaching us sometimes. And other ones, so far away they didn't even know we were around. Anyway, we're out here trying it again today. This is our 3rd day. Remember when we went in on those javelina that first day when it was snowing on us?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know if you noticed or not, but when we were going in there, we went really slow most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember a time when all of a sudden I just took off and I went real fast and I went a long ways instead of stopping every step?
No.
Well, I did do that, and the reason I did that was because this country, in particular, being in the desert, is so dry that it's hard to move without making noise, right? So a plane went over right then, and it was real low to the ground, and that's why I moved so fast so far, because I knew they wouldn't be able to hear me. Using the cover of a jet or low-flying plane can often be used to mask your approach, giving you an advantage.
Have you ever had a loose knock?
You want to know how to fix it in the field? Take your sandwich bag, after lunch of course. You measure out about 3/16 on either side of the neck of that knock. And you're going to cut a strip that's twice as long so it wraps over like a U shape. We spotted a group, a sounder of javelina on an opposing hill, and we started to stalk. They were probably about 120 yards away, and all three of us stalked kind of across the hill and met them at the top of their hill. And we got into a group of them that were, in between 15 and 20 yards. So there was a little window between some brush that I could see an alley. I heard him on the other side of a cactus before I saw him come out. He stopped right in that window and shot through that window at about 20 yards. And then we stayed pretty quiet. Malachi was ready to take the second shot, which he shot over some cactus at another javelina. I was about 20 yards away, but it deflected off of a piece of brush before it got to the javelina.
Was there anything between you and the javelina?
Bunch of cactus and a whole bunch of trees.
What happens when a little arrow hits that?
It deflects off of it and it goes over or under and misses the javelina.
And what are we, like our fourth day now? I got another question for you.
What?
Have you got any shots?
Like hitting the javelina?
Have you shot at any javelina?
2.
And were your broadheads always good? Did you always have 3 blades on all your broadheads?
1, I would think
Did-
was a...
So what I was remembering is you had to fix a couple of broadheads, put a new one on, and a couple of things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you think it's a good idea for a person to carry some extra broadheads with them when they're out in the field?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll show you how I carry mine. Mine don't take up very much room because they're 2 blades. But I've got a couple extra and I'll show you. So what I do is I keep my broadheads in this handy little pouch. Got an extra broadhead in there and an extra knock, and the other end has got the same thing. So if I haven't hit them after 4 shots, I must be doing something wrong. I understand you'd rather be in school than out here hunting.
After I shot this javelina, he went off and basically did a big giant circle and came back down the hill. He was all puffed up and like woofing, barking at us like he was gonna attack us.